Welcome back to Third Eye View. We're here with our guest, witchcraft practitioner Corrie, and we are very excited to kind of delve into the world of witchcraft. So Corrie, please kind of enlighten us on a bit of what it is that you do, or what is witchcraft versus Wiccan versus such. Enlighten us, please.
Well, witchcraft is a practice. It's a way of living, a way of being. Wiccan is a religion. It's you can be Wiccan. You would also practice witchcraft, but you can practice witchcraft, be a witch, without being Wiccan.
There we go.
That's the difference we didn't know.
Yes. No, thank you. Thank you so much. And being a witch practicing witchcraft, what are some of your typical practices? What does that mean?
Really, witchcraft is about honoring the earth and honoring the world that we live in. So we honor things like the moon cycles. We follow moon cycles. We honor the earth, the elements of the earth. It's all about living in the moment and with what's around you, and harnessing power of the things around you.
That's beautiful. I absolutely love that. And what was your first experience with this type of energy?
As a young child, I think I was always very much in tune to the natural world around me. I grew up in the bush. My father was a trapper up in Northern Ontario. And from the time I was a really young child, I really noticed things that happened in nature. I particularly remember one experience. I was about 7 or 8 years old. Of course, there's no indoor plumbing in the trap cabins. I woke up in the middle of the night needing to use the restroom, and I put on my boots and my coat, and out I went. And it was a full moon that night, and it was a very cold winter night. And the moon was making sparkles on the snow, like little diamonds.
Oh, beautiful.
On the top, so, all across the top of the snow. And as I was walking back toward the cabin, I looked down the trail. It was just like a trail going down to the lake, and I could see these brighter spots along the trail, like a flashing diamonds. It was almost like it was a path leading me someplace.
Oh, wow.
And as a small child, it was like, oh,
curiosity,
this is intriguing. What's going to be down the end of this path? So I followed the path down to the lake, and when I got down to the water, I looked up, and there was a wolf standing there.
Oh my gosh.
And he was very majestic, but I didn't feel fear. I looked at him, and he looked at me, and it was almost like we began a communication. He gave me a message that I wasn't alone. I was an only child. Growing up in the bush, it was very difficult because I was alone and lonely all the time. My parents were on their own journey, so I felt very alone. And his message to me was, without a doubt, I felt it right in my heart and my soul, that you're not alone. I've got you.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful.
And he was a lone wolf, and I was alone. So we felt a connection. Like I really felt that he had my back. Like he was there for me. And I went back to the cottage, or the camp. We call it a camp in Northern Ontario. went to bed, and every night that winter, for the rest of the winter, I heard his howl.
Oh my gosh.
And he told me he would be there, and he was. He was there with me all through my childhood. And I just feel that connection with nature was meant to be with me. Like it was innate in me.
Yeah. Oh wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing that story. I felt the energy coming off of you.
We're all there with you.
Yeah,
and
it was beautiful.
It feels like we share a lot with how we're developing people's intuition and things too, like how we're reaching and we're trying to get people to that spot. So thank you. That was beautiful.
That was absolutely beautiful. And when did you decide to kind of transition your connection with Mother Earth and the elements into something that's not, I wouldn't say a career, but into a lifestyle that you've now evolved into things such as the Wicked and Whimsy event? Like you're starting to bring it a little bit more mainstream.
Right.
When did you feel that
Well, I think
You
I
could
was
do that.
sometime in college or university. I came across some books on witchcraft, and you begin reading them, and it's just started opening up little sparks of interest in my brain. Like it's like, oh, this is me. This I already do this. This is not, something that I have to become. This is something I already am.
Already are, yeah.
Like they would talk about work with water, and I can remember as a child floating in the water, thinking that I was just embraced by spirit, like just enveloped in the power of it, just floating on your back, looking up at the sun blinding in your eyes. Like it gave you that connection to the earth. And then they work with things like fire. Looking at a campfire with the flames flickering and the energy that it's producing and the warmth that it's producing, that all made sense to me. Like it connected more on a physically and spiritually on those levels.
I think all of us have stared at the campfire and watched the flames dance and the color change, but it feels like a way, almost like you're wholeheartedly and physically and spiritually connecting in with that flame. So that's beautiful.
Right. It's just knowing, you innately know that those things, like they take parts of your life and kind of make it seem more real, or explain things that you've always wondered about. Like, you think, oh, I don't know why I feel so good when there's a candle burning and the smell is so nice.
Okay,
or,
yes, yeah.
How do I know that that they call it the mother's intuition? How did I know that my kid was in trouble today? I had that feeling. All mothers
every mother's
feel
experienced that. Absolutely.
I think everybody has a little bit of witch inside of them. We just don't know how to identify it.
Right.
And witchcraft really gives you a path to identify that. Like you read about it. That's the best way to learn, of course. You read everything that you can get your hands on about it, and everything just starts opening up. It's about connecting with nature and connecting with the earth and honoring the cycles of the earth. So honoring your seasons. All of the witches' celebrations are all centered around the seasons. And at one time it was like harvest time. And in the winter, when things are quiet, we naturally go into ourselves and become quiet. That's part of, like, Imbolc is one of our celebrations. And Imbolc is about receding inside of yourself and just becoming okay with the quiet times and the inner self. And then in summer and spring, it's like a celebration of the earth blooming, and you can bloom, and you see yourself growing in those times, just like the earth is growing in those times. And everything is we call it the wheel of the earth. And as the seasons turn, so do we. And the way that our minds work and our soul works, our spirit, like how it evolves, it follows that cycle.
Oh, well, you've excited us and enlightened us. Thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe to our Third Eye View YouTube channel and check us out on Facebook. And as always, you can connect with us through Kawartha Mediums as well.